World at War Final Fronts. Now, I don't know how many people know about this because there has been a few flare-ups in people making the videos, and that's how I kind of learned from it, was from seeing, videos online, but that was a few years ago. So I wonder how many people actually know about this game. It was basically World at War, but PS2 version. For some reason, Treyarch Activision outsourced to a company, I believe they're called Red Rebel, to basically demake World at War, which was weird because Modern Warfare 1 didn't have a demake. It didn't have a PS2 version. It was only World at War that had a PS2 version since COD 3, basically. The game's okay. Okay, now, I didn't actually finish the game because the game isn't, like, really bad, but it's, when you think about World at War, it's literally night and day. I could not believe it. I played a little bit last night. I played about 5 hours of Final Fronts, and honestly, it is so night and day. I thought it was, like, insanely different, and yes, you're playing on a PC with, 1440p resolution, plus 60 FPS, and you're playing max graphics, so obviously it is going to be better anyway, and it is a game that's more polished than Final Fronts. But the difference between World at War and Final Fronts is, like, insanely different. But I don't want to go on about World at War. I love World at War. It's an amazing game. But this isn't about World at War. This is about Final Fronts. So basically, the things I liked about it was, like, the menu atmosphere. It keeps the menu atmosphere of World at War. Now, I'm not going to say this every time, but obviously the game isn't as good as World at War, so the menu obviously isn't going to be good as World at War, but compared to, like, the modern Call of Duties, the menu sets the tone, it sets the atmosphere. Even though it's PS2, it really sets the tone of what you're getting into. And also, they keep the cutscenes as they were in World at War. Now, they are different, but the actual theme and the actual art style and how they do it is the same. So, again, you've got realistic footage of events. Whether they were recreated or whatever, I don't know, but I like to think they're real. They probably are. And then they've got that tactical overview of the map, of where things are and what's going on. I love that. Those two things, really strong start. There was some things I didn't like, but I will get into those later. There was also another unique thing that only this game had. You would have the M1 Grand, or Grand, I don't know how to say it, and you wouldn't be able to reload it. No matter how much I tried. I remember when I first started playing this game, I was, like, really confused that, did I have max ammo or what? Like, this isn't right. Like, I swear I just shot some bullets. Why can't I reload? You can't reload until you empty the mag, which I believe is realistic because it pings out the chamber and it makes that ping noise. But in World at War, you could do this. You could just reload it whenever. So it's really unique that the developers decided that they wouldn't let you reload the M1 Grand. And obviously, maybe not obviously, but the game isn't actually completely different. I didn't complete it, but I got a good few hours in. I think I only had like 3 missions left, but the actual story and the game was actually different. You're doing different things, although sometimes you're doing similar things, but you're never doing them the same way. So it kind of made it feel a bit fresh, and it made it feel a bit like, okay, this isn't just a worse version of World at War. This is actually almost like a different version of World at War, which I really like. So let's get into my negatives now. I'm not gonna, say obvious things like graphics, frame rate, and all that crap, because it's not about that. Obviously, some things are gonna be worse, but I just thought I would go through a more original take rather than, well, it's worse than World at War. Well, obviously it is. But so the first thing was something I noticed, not necessarily negative, but something that did affect how I played the game, was the actual grenade fuse is like a 2-second timer, a 1.5-second timer, which is completely different to any Call of Duty I've ever played in my life. And I've played since COD 4 up until probably around about, like, I don't know when I stopped. I probably stopped around Black Ops 3 and then picked it up again with Modern Warfare 2019, and then I went on another break. What really shocked me was how quick it was, because by the time you've actually pulled the pin, you've got about like a second to throw this thing. And it was a bit weird, and it took me by surprise that they would have made this change, because throughout every single Call of Duty, they've had roughly around about the same, fuse time. Because I would always count growing up, you would pull the pin, and the little reticle in the middle would flash. It would flash 3 times. If you don't throw it by that 3rd time, that 4th time is going to blow you up. So if you want to throw a really cheeky, quick grenade, you want to hold it for 3 reticle moves, whatever you want to call it, and then you throw it. But obviously, they have a timer in the middle for Final Fronts, but the timer is quick, like speedy quick. The other negative was there's no additional modes. There's nothing extra in the game. There's only campaign. Now, obviously I didn't finish campaign, but even if I did, there wouldn't be anything else to do. There's no multiplayer, there's no zombies, there's no other content, which is weird because, okay, I understand maybe not having multiplayer. PS2, it's at the end of life of PS2. It's actually past the end of life. It's 2008 when this came out. This came out similar time to World at War on the other consoles. So this is literally well end of life of the PS2. I understand not making multiplayer because it would kind of be a waste of time because there's only probably not many people playing, and then also not only not playing the PS2 but also not playing Final Fantasy. It to me that didn't make much sense, which is fine. But not having a zombie mode, even if it was like a little like nucked version where it was like, I don't know, like a bare bones stripped version, I'm just surprised that they didn't do anything with it, because I feel like that would have added a lot more replayability, a lot more content, and you could just have a little bit more fun and spend a little more time on the game. But unfortunately, there's nothing extra. I think the biggest thing that surprised me was zombies, because they have mobile zombies. Back in the day, now I don't know the exact date, but I remember as a kid, I had an iPod, and you'd be able to play zombies on your iPod, like World at War zombies on an iPod. It was insane, honestly. Now, the other thing that I kind of liked at first, but then it kind of got me a bit like, felt a bit sick and felt a bit motion sickness, I guess, was the reload animation. Now, every time, obviously, if you play Call of Duty, you know you're going to reload a bunch. Like there's not gonna be a moment in time where you're not gonna be reloading, because you're just fighting after fighting after fighting after fighting. Well, what this game does, again, which is crazy, it's a thing that I don't believe has been done anywhere else in Call of Duty universe throughout their games, to my knowledge. Obviously, there's going to be like an obscure thing I'm forgetting, or something really obvious that I might be forgetting. But something I really noticed was when you reload, pretty much every time you reload, your character makes like some crazy head movements and kind of reacts to you reloading, which when I first played this game, when I first started, within like the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, I thought, wow, this is really cool. Like this gives you the more realism than any Call of Duty's done since I've been playing. And it was like, this is sick. What happens is you start to feel sick because you're like reloading every 5 seconds and your head's like swiveling and jumping around and stuff. And someone who's played games for, better part of 15 odd years, maybe 14, 13 odd years, it's like quite surprising that I'm getting so motion sickness at playing a game, because I've been playing games for as long as I know. But for me, it just threw me out, because it was like, again, Call of Duty, you're reloading all the time, and it's like your head's just moving and your character's not moving, but your head's moving. It's like you just feel a bit sick. But yeah, these were my thoughts of War Final Fronts. It's pretty good. Would I recommend playing it? No, not really. There's no real benefit as far as I know, other than if you're a big Call of Duty fan and you enjoy, the games, and you just want to find, play something a bit niche and a bit unknown, then yeah, knock yourself out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But if I had a choice to play Final Fantasy or World at War, I'm picking World at War every single time without even blinking. But yeah, if you want to just switch it up and play something a bit unique, a bit historical, that you might have missed out on, a bit of a hidden piece of media, then yeah, go ahead. I would 100% recommend playing it. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you've tried it. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.